Blessings, beloveds. Hope you're all doing well. Just doing a very short audio rather, for you guys. I just want to show you how to locate your VSP, Venus Star Points. I'm going to show you two different ways that are fairly straightforward, especially one particular way is very easy. Before I do that, let me just quickly make one final announcement for the workshop on the 5 Venus star points, the pentagram in the birth chart, how to understand that, how to locate all the points, how to understand when they are aspecting, different planets, what houses they're in. There's quite a bit of information. It's a 4-hour workshop, which I actually did for USA people a couple of weeks ago. And I've just had some people from Europe also interested and therefore asking me to repeat the workshop. So I'm wanting to repeat it for people who live in Europe. You don't have to be born in Europe. You just need to be living in Europe, because the time zone and the time is going to be suited for those of you living in Europe and or in Australia or Asia, the Southern Hemisphere. So for those of you that have not heard me speak about this, I would encourage you to shoot me an email if you're interested in participating in this workshop. It's incredibly valuable. It's suited for both beginners and advanced, and you'll see that when you sit through it. It's fairly self-explanatory from the point of view of how I've written everything up. You'll get some pretty extensive PDF files. You'll be able to join the live Zoom sessions. So very, very valuable, and for a very, very good price. It's taken me quite a while to put all that material together. So shoot me an email if you are interested, and we can go from there, because I'm looking to relaunch that workshop in the next week or two, and I just need to kind of wrap that up. So just the final announcement for that one, if you are interested. My email is in the description below, so you can always shoot me an email. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I'll be sitting with Ariel Gutman in December, and we will be talking about the upcoming Venus star point, which will be in Capricorn, which is actually the Venus retrograde cycle. That's a huge, huge Venus star point, in my opinion, and we'll see what Ariel has to say as well. It'll be very fascinating. That particular star point is conjunct Pluto, so yeah, big things happening with that, and we'll get into that when I sit with Ariel. So that's coming up soon in a few weeks' time. That'll be exciting. It's always a beautiful pleasure to speak with Ariel and to have her gift us her time. So really looking forward to that. Okay, so in terms of how do you find your Venus star point? Now, finding it is one thing and understanding it is another thing, but you've got to start somewhere, right? So let's start with locating it first. Okay, so I've just kind of set up 2 pages here so that I can save time. So essentially, let's go to the first option, which I recommend as being the easiest option. The other option, which we'll look at next, just gives you something else that this doesn't, and I'll explain when we get there. So if you just type in Sophia Venus, as I did, you can see in the window just up there. Anyway, you'll get Sophia Venus, the online home of Ariel Gutman, astrologer. Okay, so you just hit that link. This is very, very simple. It opens up her website. You see the tabs up there where it says Venus star point. You click on that. You scroll down to the first line where you'll see the highlighted yellow letters saying following this link. So you click on that. Basically, it immediately takes you to this PDF file, which is a series of tables of all the different morning and evening stars of Venus starting from 1870. I will actually, what we'll do is I just want to show you. So an example of this, I'm going to use Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter, okay, as an example. So her birthday is the 3rd of April, 1998. And for the purposes of this table, that's all we need. We just need her date of birth, okay? It's very, very simple. So let's just scroll down till we find 1998. So there's 1998. You can see it across where I'm pointing my cursor. So there's actually a couple of dates there in 1998. There's one in January and there's one in October. Now, she was born in April, so we want the closest month to her birth date, okay? And it happens to be the January 16th, 1998. And so if you go to the middle column, that just gives you the exact time of the star date, star point occurring. And the next line shows you the degrees, the abbreviation letters for the sign, the minutes, and a letter. So 26 degrees of Capricorn, CP stands for Capricorn. You can see here on the right hand side, she shows you anyway. Actually, no, sorry, pardon me, she doesn't. That's a whole other thing altogether. I won't go into what that is. It's just not necessary for the purposes of what we're doing today. Sorry, I was just thinking it was something else. But you need to know your abbreviations, right? So hopefully you do. So CP is Capricorn, 07 is 07 minutes, okay? And the letter R stands for retrograde, which means she is a morning star, okay? So the head of her star is 26 degrees of Capricorn, morning star, retrograde cycle. That's when she was born. Well, that's her Venus star point, at least. Now that's very interesting because transiting Pluto is going to be all over that the next couple of years. So I'm going to follow her journey very closely, actually, to see what that brings up. It's very interesting because her Venus star point, as a matter of fact, I'll just show you, is up here in her 10th house. So this is her birth chart. Okay, so what did we say? 26 degrees of Capricorn, which places it just here in the 10th house. So it's an angular VSP. It's in Capricorn. It's doing a lot of things, squaring her Mars, squaring her Saturn, squaring her Mercury, squaring her ascendant. If indeed she has 29 degrees of Aries ascendant, it could go into Taurus within a few minutes' time. And when you look at her face, she's very pretty. She looks more Taurus rising to me than she does Aries rising. So I wouldn't be surprised if that time does change, as a matter of fact. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But anyway, her VSP is 26 Capricorn in her 10th house. So it's a very strong point for her. Now, that's how you locate the VSP. The other way of doing it is there's a program called Planet Dance. And this is the one that you need, the one that's the website www.jkremers.com. You really need to put those specific details in, right? Because otherwise you get a lot of pages with the name Planet Dance and you just might not get the page that enables you to download the software. So when you go to this page, brings up what you see here on the screen. I'm not going to download it because I already have it. So you'd hit download Planet Dance and it takes a couple of minutes, save it on your desktop, and basically here it is here. Now I've already put Paris's chart in, but I'll just walk you through. Now just as a way of example, the reason I love this program is because it puts the pentagram in the chart for us, and Solify doesn't do that. But the chart is not, the chart itself, I don't find it as clean as the way Solify presents its chart. I find this a lot cleaner. I don't know, perhaps it's because I'm used to using Solify because I've been using it for a couple of decades and we do get used to things. So perhaps it's the reason, but anyway, never mind that. It's your choice. The point though is that this program is free, so it's pretty generous of this group of people and this individual to offer this for free, because Solifier is in the, it's in the hundreds of dollars to buy the program. So a lot of people can't afford that, so it is great that people offer these, free programs. We're pretty lucky. So going back to this, now what you would do is it would basically initially disregard what's up here because I've got some preparations which we'll get to in a minute. But basically, it'll start up like this. Okay, it'll just bring up the chart for the moment, as in, as soon as you open the program, the startup means it's starting up a chart for the exact moment you're opening the program. Okay. Now, this program is a little bit complicated. I don't really get it all. There's a lot to it. I only use it for the Venus star point at this stage. There might be other things that I'll explore in the future, but I just don't have the time to really do that at the moment. So the only thing that I use it for is the Venus star point. So what we would do is we'd go to File, okay, left-hand side File. You would hit the first tab, which says Radix, okay, which just basically means natal, as in natal chart. You would hit that. It brings up this window, okay. You would put in the name of yourself or whomever you're doing the chart for. Then you would put in the date over here. And you need to put in the date in the way it's shown here. Don't write the name of the month. Just actually write in the digits and separate with the lines. Okay, it's a very specific format that it requires. And the same thing stands for the time. Don't write 9:30 p.m. It won't pick it up as far as I've seen thus far. You need to write it in the 24-hour clock, right? So the time that's written here is 21:08:42, which basically means that it's 9 p.m., 8 minutes and 42 seconds at the moment, okay, relative to what it's doing, drawing up this chart for, which is my current location. So then you would put in the country, okay, of your birth or whoever's chart you're wanting to look at. Once you put in the country, it opens up this tab down here and it gives you, hundreds and thousands really of options of cities, states, suburbs. It doesn't actually have, I tried to do a chart for one of my students and she's born in a state that's, not a small state in America, and I actually couldn't find it here. So that was a bit peculiar. I did look quite a few times, so I don't think I missed anything. Point being, there might be some locations you don't find. And my suggestion around that would be to find the closest place you can, all right, to your place of birth. And in that case, you'll have to be very aware because it'll change your ascendant and therefore all the other houses change. And depending on how far or close the place you might use is to your actual place will vary in terms of how much things move and shift. And then that sort of throws out the exact location of the Venus star point. So that's your problem there if you can't find your place of location in this system. You probably will, though. There are a lot of places in here. In fact, I'd say most places are, but I'm just putting it out there that there might be places you don't find. And if that's the case, well, you just have to rely on drawing it in yourself, which is not a difficult thing to do. Okay, so what I did was I put in the details for Paris's birth, which is the 3rd of April, 1998, 6:25 a.m. Let me see, which gives her an ascendant of 29:45. That's a little bit different to Solar Fire. Solar Fire's got it at 29:55. These are technical things, but you kind of have to pay attention, especially if the ascendant is at the 29th degree of any sign, right? And it's, 58 minutes or something like that. It can just change into the next sign very quickly based on, having the right coordinates, right location and things like that. That can get a bit tricky and technical. And if you're not well versed in programs and charts and, latitudes and time zones and coordinates, this is all going to go over your head. But for those of you that are, you'll understand what I'm saying. For those of you that want to, keep it simple, I would recommend just going to, Ariel's PDF file and just locating your VSP in the way that I showed you here. It's very simple. So let's go back to Planet Dance, Paris's chart. Here it is here. So as I said, you would go to, Radix, put in your details, etc., etc. It'll draw up a chart for you. In this case, I'll put in Paris's details. So here is her chart. Now, the next thing you do is you go back to the top and you go to the horoscope tab. You hit that and you scroll down until you get to extra. Okay, then it brings up another window and you scroll down until you get to Venus star point. Okay, and then it just brings up another chart with the pentagram drawn inside. I haven't figured out how to remove all the other aspects inside so that we can just get a clear pentagram with nothing else. I've tried, but as I said, this program, for me anyway, it just doesn't appear very user friendly. It's but I probably need to spend more time on it. It's just not as simple as Solar Fire for me. So regardless of that, you can see the pentagram, okay? And if you look to the right-hand side, what you're looking for is, what did we say Paris's VSP was? We said it was 26 of Capricorn, didn't we? Well, here it is here. The head, where it says head, that's her VSP, okay? And there it is there. You can see 26 degrees, right? 7 minutes of Capricorn. That's the old Capricorn symbol, a more ancient traditional type of symbol. The symbol nowadays looks different to that. So again, you have to be on top of it with regards to knowing, older symbols and symbols in general, really. So there's her morning star at 26 degrees of Capricorn. She also has these other 4 points, which I'm not going to go into, but they are the remainder 4 points that actually create this pentagram, okay? And so these are the things that we'll be looking at in the upcoming VSP workshop that I'm doing for people based in Europe. So if you're interested in that, wanting to know more, as I said, shoot me an email and I'll reply back to you as soon as I can. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully it's helpful. At least it gives you a starting point, okay, as to where to go to find the PDF on Ariel's site. Downloading Planet Dance as an option, not only for the Venus star point, but just to draw up charts as well. There's lots of different things in this program, a lot actually. In fact, I found this today, just a moment ago, which I really liked. So there's an asteroid ephemeris here with all these asteroids, okay? And this is just showing us the month of November, from the 1st of November to the 30th, okay? And it just shows us the position of all these asteroids, for instance. Now, there's some asteroids here that you might not be familiar with. There's a couple that I'm not familiar with as well, to be quite frank. Don't know too much about them, but, whether you want to explore them or not is up to you. But anyway, I thought this was another interesting offering here. And of course, looks like you can change, the month and the year down here, because you might want to look at 6 months ahead. You might want to look at 2 years ago. It's an ephemeris, basically, all right? But it's just an ephemeris for these specific asteroids. Okay, so let me know if this was useful and start exploring your Venus star points. I highly recommend that. And let me know if you want to learn more through my workshop. Okay, sending you much love and bye for now.